So sometimes it's just nice to get yourself away from yourself, and that's why all the greatest masters say selfishness will make you unhappy and selflessness will make you happy. And if you hear yourself, but I wanted this, and why didn't this happen? And this is how I feel. When you kind of hear yourself like that, you're not happy. You're not happy. There's no joy in that voice. There's no joy in that sound. And so to take yourself away from yourself, which I think is such a treat, and not focus on yourself all the time, will give you a lightness of spirit and a freedom away from that mind that traps you. And that's how you become victorious. There's no other way. The only person that really harms ourselves is ourselves. And it's really the thought patterns, very scientifically. You can document them yourself. I tell all my students, go home, write a piece of paper. Notice how you feel all week. When you're thinking, this is not going to work for me. That is not going to happen. Poor me. What? The gods are against me. I have bad luck. Guaranteed all those things are going to happen to you. And guaranteed you're miserable. And guaranteed you'll fall into depression. I was reading a lovely thing today. Just picked up a book and opened the page. And it talked about cheerfulness. And it's a person who is not cheerful is separated from the divine. Is separated from the divine. And if you look at all the great masters, they were all cheerful. They were all happy. And when you're in depression, I know it's quite sad, but when you're in depression, you want a lot of attention. Many people, it's a call for attention. Depression is a call for attention. It's happening to me. Poor me. My life is falling apart. You don't know, this happened to me when I was young, and this happened to me, and that happened to me. And you go like this. And then you ask yourself, why hasn't your life turned out? If you go into the world feeling sorry for yourself, people are going to go, because what energy are you giving out? What energy? You're giving that energy. It's not that nobody wants to help you. It's you've separated yourself from the world by being so focused on your sorrow. And your sorrow. And that depression will bring you down. And the only way to lift yourself by yourself is to understand that by continuing feeling sorry for yourself, continuing my ego, me, I don't know this, I that, but understanding that that way of thinking is going to make you miserable. When you understand it, when you get there, when the mind gets there, because that's the mind, that's the way it works, you can stop it and say, hey, don't go there. You can stop it. That's the gift we've been given. The soul can stop the mind. The inner buddhi, we call it buddhi, the intellect, the higher intellect, the buddhi. We have that. We can stop. And that's why we practice so much meditation. And focusing on one thing, Let's talk. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Now, are you focusing on those words? Or are you focusing on, I did my job yesterday, and I don't like the way this is sounding, and that is sounding, and who's playing the guitar, and who's singing? Are you thinking, may the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light? Do you see? When you're really feeling it, say it with me. Because just now the singing was so hopeless, sorry. I'm just quite truthful, but please forgive me. Because there was no heart in it, And when you sing with heart, there's a difference. There's like a joy, Will you sing it with me? May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy. Peace and joy, love and light. Peace and joy, love and light. A little better. And now we're going to do it with an addition. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And when you're closing your eyes, I want you to see the globe. You all know the globe, right? And I want you to whichever area you choose, your home, a place full of war, wherever you want, and you see this light coming from your heart, just, those rays, where's the divine? Lord Jesus, do you see? Heart chakra. Apparently I use too much of it, right, Marianne? The heart chakra, you see the rays coming out from your own heart. We all have the light. They've been telling us that. Look at your heart. That's where you have to look to find the divine. So you imagine these rays while you're singing the song to the place where you feel needs a lot of peace and joy, love and light. Now you do that with your eyes closed now with me. All right? May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Peace and joy, love and light. Take a deep breath and breathe out. Open your eyes. You'll already be lighter. Your mind will be lighter. This is just doing it 1 second. But if you practice this every day. When the mind is getting troubled or disturbed or going into I mode, but you just, oh my God, I'm going there again. Stop and just practice this. Best medicine in the world. And it'll bring you back to yourself. It'll bring you back to your peace. It'll bring you back to your peace. And then you can make the right decisions. And then you can say the right things. And then you don't say harmful things. And you don't put bad karma back into the world. But instead put good things in the world. But you need to stop the negative thoughts before they carry you away. And that's when you become the victor in your life. You become victorious. The mind is no longer controlling you. You have control of it. And how easy to do it. By service, by love, by unconditional love, by caring. By really loving one another. Really, you don't have to like each other. I always say that. You can't like everyone, not possible. But you can love everyone. And you can know that everyone is divine. Their minds may not know it, but you know it. So you learn discrimination, and then you learn what to say when and what to do when. And then you become the victor of the situation. And you don't create a chain of negative cause and events, which will hurt ourselves. Understanding that? There's really no God that punishes any of us. I really can't believe that. And if there's that kind of a God, I don't want to know that kind of a God. Because even as a parent, how many times do we forgive our children? And you think the greatest parent of all, that energy called the divine consciousness, is going to be worse than we? No. Not possible. It gave of itself, if you read all the scriptures, and science, the Big Bang, it gave of itself from nothing something. It became all. What's happened is it gave itself everywhere. So it's totally selfless, isn't it? Do you see? If it gave itself, it's totally selfless. Whatever you call it. Because it gave itself into each one of us. Fragments of itself. To give us the opportunity to experience life, to live it to the best of our ability. And of course, it's depression that takes you away from the divine. It's anger that takes you away from the divine. We separate ourselves. God doesn't separate us. It's in all of us. There's nothing to look for. It's already in us. All the scriptures tell us that. Look within. Involution, not evolution. You are not going to find your peace outside. It's only inside. All the scriptures talk about prayer, meditation, concentration, focus, Focus on what? Focus on the highest. What is the highest? Then you watch yourself. Why am I not happy? Why am I not joyful? And you'll say, okay, because I'm focusing on my anger, my jealousy, my fears, my guilt, and my doubts. But when I'm focusing on cheerfulness, joy, love, peace, light, doing my work, whatever work that has been given to me well, not halfway. A true yogi does its work fully, never halfway. Everybody can do halfway. That's a piece of cake. But to stand out in the light, you have to go walk that extra mile. You know, Satya recently, Beata, I've seen her change in the last few months. What's happened to them? What has changed in their life from sorrow? Chandra, we've got so many examples in this room. I can go on and on and on. So many of you in this room. What has happened in your life? What has the focus been? Let's raise money for Gambia. Let's focus on the barbecue. Let's focus on, we want to raise this fund. Let us do another event. They're thinking about something higher. No giving is real giving. I read today, it was really interesting. I just picked up the book and all these wonderful pearls came out, you know. And no giving is real giving. The real giving only exists when we serve somebody who's so much less fortunate than ourselves. A person who is poor. Otherwise you give this, everybody can afford everything, right? The real giving is when we take our personal time from our partying or whatever, hairdresser or whatever, and go walk that extra mile for somebody else. We become a very selfish world. We become very selfish. We become selfish. It's all about, yes, of course we have to look after our families. Of course we have to look after that is our duty. That is our dharma. But also, is not the world our family? And if you give 1 hour a week there, just to see somebody smile, why is it such a big deal? Do we not say every day, oh, we're Christians, we're Catholics, we're Hindus, we're good people, we are good people. What do we do that makes us good? And then we're so miserable. The sign of being miserable is the sign of being unfulfilled. Will you see that? That's the sign, you're not fulfilled. That's why you're unhappy. Because, you know, if you were happy, you would be totally at peace. That means something is not yet happening in your life that should be happening. And that happening is your communication with your higher self, what we call God. If you don't like the word divine consciousness, it's no big deal. You think God minds? No big deal. Not childish like us, you know, fight over one religion and another religion and another. We're all human beings on one earth. You know, they always say, my husband used to tell me, he said, you know, if aliens came tomorrow, the whole world would get together and nobody will be fighting here, we'll be fighting them. Isn't it true? And we'll say, we're one earth, why can't we say it before that happens? Otherwise that might just happen, you know. Where we are one earth, we are one people, different colors, you know. Ula said something to me the other day, so funny, made me laugh. Ula is one of my students in Portugal, and I went on a Scandinavian tour this summer to speak about yoga, and she was such a great hostess, the way she looked after me. Anyway, she put some plaster on my shoulder and some tape. And of course, the tape was one of these old-fashioned tapes, and we couldn't get it off. And you know me, Ula, don't worry about it, I'll do it myself. Wow! I took off all my skin, that's right? Well, that was quite funny, I had to laugh, you know. But that wasn't the point. The point, what she said to me was, oh my God, Nalanie, you're white underneath. Do you know, it was so, you know, oh my God, you're white. Take off the skin and we're all the same color. Do you remember that? For her, that was like such a big realization. It's like she's always known. We're all the same, we're all the same. But until she saw the skin underneath and it was white, because I really ripped it off, you know. And until she saw that white, it hit home to her. It just, wow. And she told me on the phone the other day, you know, we're all the same underneath. We're all the same underneath. I said, yeah, you got it. That one experience made her suddenly it suddenly went in there in her heart, you know. And then her life now is all she does is dedicate her life to service of people, you know, upliftment of human souls, you know. And she's so determined to do it because 3 years ago she said to me, I want you to do the Scandinavian too. But you know, I live in Portugal now, I just have a summer house in Sweden. I don't know who to get in touch with anymore. She's so determined. She sent hundreds of emails out. Next thing I know, you're doing the Scandinavian too because I want everybody to hear about the spirit. You know, determination. And how did you do it? From knowing nobody, you got so many people to come, you know. She organized Sweden and Finland. She says, you can see that focus, when you have the higher focus. Mel, I'm determined to help with SAS, Gambia, and this. I want to serve the world. I'm tired of being selfish and suffering. Is it not true? I want to do higher. I don't want to think about my own sorrows. So she starts this, I'll come to you right now. She starts this skydive. What happens? Suddenly we have tons of people coming, you know? Because she's really coming from the highest place. She has learned that service is giving her peace. She's learned. It doesn't matter if you do charity events or not. Even service in the home, when you cook for someone or you do a computer piece for someone, you know, when you do it with love, everything we do, it becomes service. So it becomes a prayer. It actually is a natural prayer. It's a prayer, you know, when you, haven't you noticed sometimes when you feel excited you learn a new dish or something and you want your family to enjoy it. And then, oh my God, I'm really excited to let them try it. And you do it with so much love. Or you're more realistic is when guests come. You do more for your guests and your family, isn't it true? And you'll go, my guests are coming tonight, and you do everything so pretty, you get excited, you put so much love in it, and it comes out beautiful. But when your guests are coming, and you want to impress them, and you want them to think that you are a great cook, and you do everything perfect, then the food will be full of stress. Because you're not really thinking, I'm so excited to serve them. You're thinking, I want to serve them so that they think I'm a good cook. It's you get a different feeling. One is joy from doing it. The other one has a lot of stress because there's expectation. And then when your guests don't tell you, oh, it's the most delicious food in the world, you're disappointed. Do you see? There's a different way of working. And one makes you free and victorious, and the other makes you caught and in a prison. And my question is, would you rather be free or caught in your own prison? It's really, really simple. This is the question I asked myself once I learned this yoga science. Do I want to be free and happy, or do I want to go on with past stories and say, my poor me syndrome, and get myself in this poor me prison? Who's locked me up? Who's locked me up by my own mind? And taking responsibility for your mind is the best thing you can do. It will give you freedom. Giving your responsibility away by blaming will put you in a prison. Because the more you blame, the more unhappy you are. Just listen to your voice, look at your eyes, go into the mirror and say, why am I looking so unhappy? Because I'm blaming again. And then you'll tell yourself, but I have every right to blame. Yes, you have every right to blame, but why are you so unhappy when you're blaming? And you have to come to that conclusion. And there comes a point when you just say, I just really need to let go. Let go. And you have to distract your mind. And like Master Shivananda says, you do serve, love, give, meditate, purify, realize, be good, be good, and be compassionate. Inquire, who am I, who am I, who am I? And be free. and be free. Who are you? Who are you? Let me ask you, who are you? Do you know? Are you this body?
No.
Who were you before you came to this body? Who will you be when you leave this body?
Light.
Immortal self, I like this girl. Energy never dies, matter dies. Energy doesn't die. Energy goes space to space to space. Look at all the space around us. And beyond the earth, more space. And beyond the galaxies, more space, 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 space. Immortal. The matter will die. Things will explode. Tsunami, everything underwater. What did they say? Atlantis sank and Gibraltar came out. You know that, right? And this is the world we live in. So who am I? Who am I? Ask you, inquire, who am I? And be free. If you know you're the immortal self, then very clearly you will know your life on earth is impermanent and very temporary. Very, so temporary. And when you realize that, really realize, like Ula realized the white skin wasn't everyone, you know. I loved her story, so clear, right? Just when you really, really like know that, you know that, then there's a lightness in your walk because you won't let people bother you too much. Oh, today they're angry with me. No big deal. You know, easy come, easy go. What's the name of the song? Da 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 da. Yeah, easy come, easy go. And you do that. Yeah. Who sings that?
Queen.
Who? Queen?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, of course. Thank you, sir. You're good with. He's very good with music. If you have trivia for you, invite him.
We've done different versions.
Yes.
Bruno Mars has a version of it.
Okay, oh, that's the one I know, Bruno Mars, yeah. I like Bruno Mars. So anyway, not talking about music, but music is spirit also, you know? So it's all spirit. And, you know, you let things come in and you let them go out. Don't hold. The Buddhists say, don't grasp. Somebody's hurt you. Hold it 1, 2 days. Whose life are you wasting?
Your own.
Thank you, Patty. That was a perfect answer. She did this to me. For those who can't see her. Your own. Absolutely your own. So, when you understand, the only person I'm hurting by grasping, you think you're hurting somebody else, they've already insulted you. They've already insulted you. You've given them pleasure. You've given them so much pleasure by holding on to the insult, because that's exactly what they wanted to do, manipulate you. And what have you done? Allowed it. And then you blame them. Ha, ha, ha. Who's allowed it? Where's the truth? And we're way too sensitive these days, you know. Anybody says anything, you know, mother says something to a child, how dare you tell me that? Why not? They're so sensitive. Any little thing, report to the teacher. I remember when I was in school, my parents never interfered so much. You have to learn to be tough. You have to be strong. You got to get going. You have to deal. They'll tell me, yeah, of course, if it's bullying, you should look into it. But if it's not bullying, isn't it normal? Friends argue, brothers and sisters argue, partners argue, parents argue with each other. And then when friends argue, they go and interfere. They break friendships. They're kids. They're going to argue. Why are you interfering with your children's friendship? None of your business. You know, but nowadays everybody's interfering. My child, as if we have nothing to do but look at all the problems and make problems. When there's so much to do, so much interference, you must see it as school teachers, you know. It's no big deal. Why do the parents spend so much time? And then what happens? The children become oversensitive. They grow up. They are totally disturbed. They can't move out into the world because somebody tells them, you know, you didn't do this job well. Instead of saying, yeah, you know, you're right, I didn't do the job well. How dare you tell me that? Da, 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 da. And then there's anger. But really, you didn't do the job well. You didn't do the job well, you didn't do the job well. What is there to it? Yes, sorry, next time I'll do better. Finish, done, over. Egos are very strong. And then with those egos, we become victims. We become victims because we become miserable. We need to let go all the time in your practice. Let go. Who are you? Immortal. Why bother with all this petty stuff? Life is full of energy. You had something to say, sorry, and I said I would come to you. Yes?
Well, no, everyone's looking.
You sure?
When you mentioned about airplane, I thought I must share this one.
Please share it.
There
Can
is-
you come here so everybody can see you?
I'm not okay, I can see you.
Okay.
There's an organization called SETI, who search for a intelligent life in cosmos in the universe, just to prove the point that we all are airplanes. So, not knowing, I think that they are yogis.
They are.
Yeah, they have massive satellites built, they have loads and loads of resources, and they're all scientists. Not only they look for intelligent life in outer space, they're looking in the sea as well. They have people who speak with dolphins. So the one and only purpose to show that we are all airplanes, and we don't really have any reason to fight.
Thank you. What organization is this again?
It's called SETI, S-E-T-I.
I'll look it up in the internet. Thank you for telling me that. We should be more organizations like this. Thank you. Are you involved as well?
No, it's for really serious scientists.
Yeah, it's great because science and spirituality are going to marry in this generation that we're living in. Because it's always been science and spirit. But finally, now, it's this generation is going to see the marrying of science and spirit. And it's all about mind stuff and energy fields. And the divine, the higher we vibrate, they found that love permeates everything. The yogis knew it long ago. And when we vibrate in this high energy field, when we vibrate there, our lives change. It's like we change the molecules of the atoms around us. It is really scientific. And now there's so much proof of this. Isn't it amazing? Do you know, many years ago, two things my master told me. One day he told me, I was talking about reincarnation because it's obvious, energy doesn't die. So it has to go, where does it occupy if it wants to come back or experience more things? It has to come back into matter, right? So I told my master, it's such a pity. People struggle so much thinking this is one life, and there's so much greed and there's so much blame, and they all believe that this energy is not just, and they don't understand the law of karma. But if they could understand a little bit more about your past has brought you to your present, then they wouldn't be so angry. And he said, don't worry, Nalanie. In 20 years, they will prove there's reincarnation. I felt so happy when he said that. Really now it's starting to happen. Doctors. Dr. Ian Stevenson is his name. He wrote a huge book for the Reader's Digest about reincarnation. And he tried to disprove it. He couldn't. All he could do is prove that there was, And many medical people are now in this field. And like you said, scientists, there is consciousness everywhere. And that's really, so there we're all one. What are we fighting for? And the yogi said from so long ago, what is it? What is it that makes us? It's that ego, that selfishness, that I, me, mine, all about me. And the people who are really suffering and say, it's the way it is. And don't blame anybody and just shine are the happiest people, even in their sorrow. Even in their sorrow. You want to be around them because they radiate peace. And if we can all do that, what a nice world it would be. What a wonderful world, really. It would be. It would be. It's not like people say, Nalanie, you're too idealistic. But if you don't have a dream, you will never get there. If there is no goal, we cannot reach it. So we need to be have a goal, if everybody's so, oh, it's never going to happen, maybe it's never going to happen. But at least in my world at this moment is this room, right? At least in this room, for the next hour, it's going to happen. It's become a reality. Peace has become a reality. Joy has become a reality. Vibrancy, your heart opening has become a reality. At least for 1 hour, it's been ideal. And if we collect our lives in all these minutes and hours that become ideal, we can live with heaven in this painful world. And that's what the yogis say. You just start with yourself. Just start here. Try not to be so outward. That's why they say, bring in your senses, look inward. There's so much to do in the world. There's so much that's needed. There's so many phone calls we're getting, help with this and help with that. Oh my God, Shanti and I wish we had more hands, Thank God for these people. I'll volunteer, And all the teachers in this center, I'll volunteer, I'll give classes, I'll help people make them strong so that they can go out and serve the world. I love it. We just, but we still need more hands. Because many hands make light work. Many hands make light work. Oh, and I believe I have some questions to answer. Do forgive me, I do ramble on.
Can I just ask something?
Sure, you can ask anything.
Somewhere, I don't know if it was Gurudev or in one of the yogic teachings, it said that if there was no ignorance in the world, and part of the ignorance is this ego and ego trip and all that, then the world would be superfluous.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
If everybody has knowledge, we wouldn't need to be here anymore. That's what it means, basically. If we all knew that we were spirit, we would all be living in spirit. The world wouldn't be as we know it now. It would be a totally different energy field, vibrating on a much higher energy field. And we would probably be out there helping other universes and other earths, because we wouldn't have anything to learn. And this is why, you see, it's a parallel. There's two things happening at one time. There's a perfect world, and there's a totally imperfect world. And within this we live. So when we learn to touch the divine inside, we can touch that perfect world. What we say, all the great saints and sages have said, God's plan is perfect. And there's a way to do it when we're alive. It's too late when we're dead. To touch the perfection in the imperfection, we can do it. And you all know it. When you're in your highest mode of peace and joy, you have that feeling of bliss, don't you? You all know that. Who hasn't known that feeling of bliss in your life, That ultimate moment when you go, it's just a perfect moment. It's such a nice feeling. And it's not a crazy feeling, it's just, It's such good. Yeah. You're comfortable in your body. So yeah, ignorance is the course. This is why I sit here week after week now. I change it a little bit because I'm in other places and I can't give so much time here anymore. I need to fly a little bit. This is why I keep saying the same thing. Because if we can share our knowledge, all of us, we share it, then, and it takes a long time for people to understand the spirit is in them. Why is it take so long? Because we've been conditioned by so many different religions. And please forgive me, I don't mean to. All the religions are maps, but unfortunately, the disciples do with the religions what they want for power. It's just like politics, Same thing. I'm so sorry, but it's so truthful. Politics was in the right place, and religion was in the right place. Nobody would be fighting over religion. All the religions say the same, love one another. So where has all the wars come from? Not from the saints and sages, but from people with big egos that want to control and manipulate the world. And then we are so brought up in that indoctrination. we are so built in, generations, that we're so scared. It takes us a lot from us to break away from that indoctrination. We feel we're doing something disloyal by saying God is everywhere. Oh no, I must say God is only in Lord Krishna. Oh, I must say God is only in Jesus. Oh, I must say God is only in Buddha. And because there's a guilt, there's a disloyalty. But why? Why should they? They all said the same thing. They just came in different times. And I'll be with you right this minute. And if you read the Bhagavad Gita, which is a great text, it's God talking to his disciple, and he says, do not worry. Do not worry, my child, because wherever there is unrighteousness, I will come back again and again and again. You will never be lost. What a lovely promise is that. So we got it in Jesus, and so we got it in Buddha, and so we got it in many great souls. And nowadays we have many great souls traveling this world. My master, Dada Vaswani, people that I have met that are so highly elevated, the Dalai Lama, these are people we have in this world to show us that you can be happy when you have knowledge. So this is the importance of knowledge. It gives us freedom. Yes?
We've got you.
Oh, God. I'm just a simple soul who loves God very much. And that is the truth. Very simple. Just like my life simple.
I just wanted to say one thing. I went to the interfaith meeting last night, and it was very inspirational. There was a Muslim imam there that didn't even understand English very well. But he was there to add his presence to the other religions.
Wonderful.
And I thought that was so good.
Wonderful. And this is what we need to do now. Truth is one, paths are many. Look at this. All the different religions. It doesn't matter. No religion. Make up your own. What does it matter? There's one truth. And more, we need to do this. It's the only way to stop the nonsense.
What is it? Something that they get together once in a while?
Yeah, interfaith organization. Yes, I know of it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I thought it stopped when Stuart Lamont left.
It did, but it started again now.
Fantastic. And I'm glad you're part of it, because you're a great representative of that. And welcome home. It's nice to see you,
Thank you.
She writes beautifully, by the way. Do you know that Lita, Devi we call her, means goddess. We gave her a Sanskrit name. Do you know she won world prize for writing a thesis?
An essay.
An essay on Gandhi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second in the world. Was it second prize in the world
It
or
was
first?
second prize
Second prize.
in the English category.
In English category.
They had different people from different areas. And
Yes.
there was a prize for each nationality.
So she got English. Isn't that great? So she has it somewhere. She gave it to our library. I don't know where it is, but if you get a chance, read it. So, a request. If not another time. Good luck, bad luck, who knows? Okay, it's a story. So I think I have time, and just let me click my brain to that story. Okay, yes. There was a farmer living in this village, and he had horses, etc. And one day, he was particularly looking after this one horse, and the horse runs away. And his neighbor comes, oh my God, you are so unlucky, your horse ran away. And he answers, good luck, bad luck, who knows? A few days later, his horse comes back with 3 or 4 wild horses. And he goes, wow, he's got 3 or 4 wild horses. And his neighbor comes and says, my goodness, you are really, really lucky. And he answers, good luck, Bad luck? Who knows? Now he had a son, and his son was determined to tame one of the wild horses. So he got on the wild horse, his only son. And as he was trying to tame the horse, he fell down and broke his leg really badly. And the neighbor came, only one son, cannot help you anymore on the farm. You know, broken leg, what bad luck. And he goes, good luck? Bad luck? Who knows? Anyway, a few days later, there was a war. And the military came to all the homes to get the boys out, to take them to fight in the war. And of course, the neighbor's son was taken. And when they saw the farmer's son with the bad leg, they couldn't use him. So they didn't take him. So the neighbor comes, you are really lucky. Your son didn't have to go. And he goes, good luck, bad luck, who knows? And whoever asked for the story, I hope I told it right. It's a long time I told it. But that's the truth, isn't it? We really don't know. We just know that there are a sequence of events that come in our life, good and bad, pain and pleasure. And yoga is that science that tells us to remain balanced in pain and pleasure. Don't let it swallow us. When you have pleasure, don't get so excited, because if you do, when sorrow comes, you get so down. Don't get so down. When joy comes, you cannot see it, even if it's staring in your face, you know. And so many people I see, you know, everything is working for them, and they're in deep depression and sorrow. And I go, well, why can't you see how much you do have? And they can't, they really can't, because, you know, they're so down. So balance is what yoga is all about. Just balance. And know life. One day good, one day bad. One day somebody loves you, tomorrow they don't like you. What can you do? Let them, that's what they want. Why you worry so much? Good luck, bad luck, who knows? So let's go to the next one. In the case of child abuse, for example, the missing 5-year-old, would she be seen as a victim? How could you say she isn't? Of course she's a victim. 5-year-old, that's why children need protection. That's why children are given to us for protection. And she was kidnapped, the 5-year-old, because she was left in a room on her own. I think it was a lot of lessons to a lot of parents. Of course she's a victim. She's a victim in the sense that nobody knows where she is. Madeline, right? I'm sure you're talking about Madeline.
But there's another one now.
Yes. Is it really?
Yeah.
In Wales, yeah? And how was she taken?
She got into a car, she was coaxed into a car, I think.
Yeah, because children need to be looked, they're innocent. They're so young. You know, we need to look after them. You know, and nowadays, you know, we've lost that consciousness, or maybe we're regaining it, but we're indoctrinating children with fear. Whereas we should just teach them to be aware and not fearful. We should teach them about their instincts. We should tell children, if somebody's trying to force you, coax you, they want to be nice, it's great. You know, because in Spain, you know, and here in Gibraltar, everybody loves children, isn't it true? Everybody is so nice. But if they're trying to coax you, and you feel uncomfortable and scared, say no. If they're nice, it's okay. All it's education, and be with young children. You know, many times I go to restaurants and, you know, I see parents having their dinner or lunch and the children's gone out of the room. Yeah. And I go, oh my God, I never did that when my children were young. I had my eyes in my back of my head. I'd get up from my table and go until they were old enough to look after themselves. Before the age of 7, never. You know, unless in those days Gibraltar was really safe. They could walk everywhere. Perfect place to bring up young children, I thought. So it was really, really safe. Now I don't know if it's so safe anywhere. But you need to just, yes, because it is our risk. That child is a victim in a sense, but because that child cannot look after itself. So yes, there are some victims.
If we were to take it to a different knowledge, could we say that maybe that child needed that experience for some reason, or?
She wants to make me talk about it deeper, so I will
Yeah.
talk about it deeper. Okay, thank you. On a higher level, nobody's a victim. We all come with lessons or sacrifices. Many people or children, I think, for example, I have a special needs grandchild, and I really know she has come to teach us. So she chose a broken body or a certain situation to enlighten a lot of people. You know, I tell you, this child has given my daughter purpose. Yes, she never sleeps. She hasn't slept for 5 years, maybe 2-3 hours a night. Never complains, but she's given my daughter a selfless purpose. And what my daughter, in the selflessness of wanting her child to be happy, has started her own website to help other people who don't know what to do with special needs or thinks it's a curse. She has helped hundreds of people all over the world with her website. Not only that, she has inspired. Look, Talia, this is my special needs grandchild. What she has done coming in a broken body in this world. I don't think she's a victim. I think she's a princess. And she has inspired my daughter-in-law to take up yoga for special needs in Hong Kong. She got 17 people, including people from the Philippines, who took a course last year in Hong Kong. All those people are now working with special needs and in turn educating more people that special needs is not a curse, but a blessing. And we need to help them. They need to express themselves. So now we're already talking about maybe 400 or 500 people being influenced. And now many of you took a course that we had 2 weekends ago at my place, 30 or 40 people who were inspired to do more for special needs. How many people will they influence in their lives? And you watch the spread of this energy. And why? All because Talia decided to come from a broken body. Now, so when you look at it from a high, this is just from what I'm seeing within my family, that nobody's a victim and everything is a blessing. And how that joy is able to be spread. And no way do her parents nor I think she's anything but an angel from heaven. We really do not see her as special needs. But we know the world does. But for us, she's joy. Yes, of course she'll bring us a lot of pain and suffering when she goes through her illnesses and her body flops and she doesn't eat and she doesn't sleep and her mouth is like that. Of course you're going to fill your heart with pain. It's normal. Are we victims? No. Part of the world process. All of us have paths to follow. No big deal. And if we felt sorry for ourselves, what could we do for Talia? Nothing. What can we do for the world? We said, oh, poor, my child's got special needs. Hide her in a corner. Hide him in a corner. What bad luck. What bad luck, as they used to do. Lock them up.
Yeah.
Look at the misery that is life. And on the contrary, when you turn it on its head, nothing becomes a victim. Everything is joyous. And whatever knowledge you have, you share it. Oh, I know that by chanting to Talia, when she gets agitated, when she wants to tell us something, she doesn't. She scratches. She pulls hair because she's trying to tell us something. Not because she's naughty. She's frustrated. So I just go, comes right now. So we tell other people, do you know how your chanting works? They love the vibrational sound. And all the people who went to the workshop witnessed it for themselves, didn't you?
Yeah.
You witnessed, you saw how just doing the chanting calmed the cerebral palsy child, calmed the autistic child. And what did the autistic child say after the whole Joe Manuel, who's a fabulous teacher, was doing yoga with him, and she asked him, what did you enjoy most? And he said, the deep relaxation. It calmed me. He knew that he needed calming, and that was the best thing for him. Incredible to watch, So going to the higher, explaining the higher purpose of being a victim, it's really how you look at things. Yes, it is true. In the earthly level, this child is a victim. On a higher level, what is she taught? How many people in the world are aware of her being coaxed by the news? How many people in the world are praying for her? How many parents are now going to be more watchful of their children? Because it really does make me angry when I see, even the other day in the supermarket, mother's chatting with a friend, this 2-year-old toddler walking away. Anybody could take him away. Anybody, especially now when it's, the world is in crisis. They're looking for kids to kidnap. Talking. I'm there with my eyes, looking, just keep an eye. Just watching. When are you going to pay attention? Just to make sure the child's okay. And then you think, maybe this will teach them. So from a higher purpose, there's a great teaching in it, because it brings the attention, like guns, right? Every time we hear shooting, and still they haven't passed the gun law in America. What's wrong with our world? How many times do masses of people have to be killed before they stop this? People who produce movies on violence and all these games that bow kill people. When are we going to realize that we're going to kill our own children? So more trauma comes and more victims are taken, or more souls on a higher level sacrifice their lives, hoping somebody will listen. You are destroying yourselves. But do we listen? No. Why? You tell me why. Greed. Money. More games to sell, violence sells, because they know, like in the Gita it tells us, we have 100 negative thoughts. And we very seldom focus on our 5 wonderful ones. So they know, easy to get people going. So on a higher purpose, nobody is a victim. Everybody is a teacher. And on the earthly level, like I said, you have to look at it both. You have to look at, and this is what yoga gives you. Vision, higher world, lower world. I always use, does anybody have, here this glass. I always use the example of the glass. Ask, is the glass empty? What would you say? Yes, worldly level, it is empty. Truth, is it empty? No, it's full of air and space and atoms. Right? Both levels, both are true. Both are true. If you tell somebody, no, it's full of air, and they don't understand your language, they'll think you're cuckoo. Yes, Chandra.
So, in the earthly level, if you see the child going, what do? You just let him go?
No, absolutely not. You take responsibility. Even if the parents don't like it, you take responsibility. I mean, in that case, I watched, and then the parents finally realized. She got out of her stupor and realized. But if anything had happened, I was there. Do you see? But if the child had gone further, I would take responsibility. You might get screamed at or shot, tell it's none of your business, but it doesn't matter.
Because she always said, no, don't interfere. Like, see, the girl is going wherever I see.
Yeah.
You mean I take action then?
Of course you should take action. If you don't, then something happens, you'll never forgive yourself. But you also don't put fear into the child. So you don't go to the child and say, no, it was your mother, No, you don't put fear. You watch from a distance. But you take action. You take passive action. You don't take noisy action, because that will bring nervousness to the child and create this energy in her that she'll never be like to be free or to look around. Also, you see, it's a balance.
And also we can't even judge the parents, no? Because in the stupor, God knows.
No, you don't judge them, but you advise them. I think one should advise. Of course they'll get angry. They don't want to listen to you. Nobody likes to be told the truth. Doesn't matter. If you love them, you just tell them the truth anyway. It doesn't matter. You're not angry with them. You're just trying to teach them. If they don't get it, it's okay. Don't keep repeating, you have to get it, you have to get it. You've done your duty, you've told them. Don't tell them a million times. That's all I say. Don't nag. Because then they really won't get it. You tell them, be careful. Just be careful. That's all. Finish. You don't have to shout or anything. But you should tell. You should tell if you don't, you're not doing your duty because you're too scared to get your child angry at you. That means you're too attached. Yes, Namrata,
No, I think
please.
you just answered my question because I sometimes didn't know whether I had to instill just a little bit of fear in my daughter because she goes around Main Street just random tourists blowing kisses to them. I love you, bye. And the little one started doing the same thing to her.
Cute.
Krishna.
She's lovely. She had her baby blessing here,
Yeah, and the little one started to do that. I just to random tourists on the streets. I sometimes think, and then she just go to them, and very often she'd get random tourists just giving her a bar of chocolate. They just walked out of Marks and Spencer, and they'll see her, and they'll just give it to her. So I sometimes I need to explain to her. She's only 3. I need to explain to her not to. So how do you go about it when they're so small?
At this time, it's very nice that you are with her, so she's safe. There's no hurry. Wait till she's a bit more, she's older, like she's 5, because now she's really very little. Now she's enjoying the love, the natural love, and the tourists want to give her chocolates. I think she will develop a love for humanity because that will also develop in her. So long as you're always with her at the age of 3, I think that is your responsibility to look after her. And there's no need to tell her so young. When she's a little older and the buddhi kicks in and the mind kicks in and she starts going to full day school, and say, oh, there are people nice, but what can we do? That's the story of the little Red Riding Hood and the wolf. You can tell them that story, which children kind of understand. And so sometimes if you see somebody's a bit odd or looking strange or trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, be a little careful, like the wolf and Red Riding Hood. And then kids get it. Kids get it. Our natural instinct kicks in. Kids get it. But you need to do that, yeah. But you don't also want to take away that trust and that love and that joy and that, yeah. She, even as a baby, you could see the character. When we had the baby blessing, she had such a beautiful, you can see came from a previous birth,
Yeah, Bonnie was a teacher last year.
Yeah.
I always just tell her, Mum, she's such a joy. She just
radiates, and you don't want to take that away from her. So it's a balance. When she gets older, yes, you just tell her like that, but don't tell them like French Red Riding Hood, and then they get it. They get it. Kids are quite good. I mean, even after telling them that, we do our best, and let God do the rest. But if we do our best and anything happens, you can always live with yourself. I know it's a higher purpose that something has happened for a higher purpose, but you can live with yourself. You know you did your best, but if you didn't, then you will always live with the guilt. And that you don't want to do. So that's what we try to avoid by knowledge. Knowledge will help you avoid those mistakes. I hope I've answered your question. It is a big responsibility to be a victor. No, it's easy, isn't it? You become a natural leader, and sometimes you are expected to be or act right all the time. Ooh, don't fall into that trap. Did you hear? It's a big responsibility to be a victor. I think it's our duty to be a victor. I don't think it's a responsibility. I think if we're the victim, then we're in misery. So I think everybody should be victors, so to answer that. But it is a responsibility in the sense, the second part of the question, you become a natural leader. No, not everybody who is a victor becomes a natural leader. They're just happy in their lives. They just live a better life. They don't have to be a leader. But let's go to your thing, which is you become a natural leader, and sometimes you're expected to act right all the time. Yes, it happens to leaders. You're expected to act right all the time. But what does that do to you? For example, if I did something wrong, everybody would talk about me immediately. I know that. So, as a leader, my job is to live as clean, as purely as possible. Not because you or people expect me to, but because I expect myself to. And if something I do disturbs the world, but I know that I'm doing it from my heart and with love, then let the world be disturbed, because I didn't do it to hurt them. They took it as pain from their thinking point of view. And you have to accept that. It's going to happen. Any leaders, it's going to happen. But please don't put on a mask, because if you're a hypocrite and you act one way and then you go out and act another way, you will disappoint people and disillusion people. You know, whichever you do, I always say, I'm very ordinary, you know. I'm no guru, I'm no saint, and that is the truth. Please understand, I'm a natural human being, just like all of you. You know, run a home, run a family, and I just love God so much, simply. And if you expect more from me and put a pedestal on me, sorry, that's your problem.
Under you.
I just love sharing, you know? And if I do something to disappoint you, I am sorry to hurt you, because that's not my intention. It's never my intention, because every morning when I get up, and I'm telling you me, because that's the only person I can tell you from, but please try and apply the same, the leaders out there in this room that ask this question. Every morning I get up and I just ask and pray, please make me hurt no one today purposely. Make every thought, word and deed come from the purest place. This is a prayer I have not stopped praying for the last 25 years. I haven't. And I you know, when I do something to hurt somebody and it's purposely, then I'll say sorry. And even sometimes when it's not purposely, and I know I'm trying to teach them, I even still don't like to hurt them. And I'll scold them, tell them off, but then afterwards I'll say, I'm really sorry, because to cause them pain is more pain for me to cause somebody pain. But if they don't like me and they think badly of me, then I can't do anything. Don't get attached to that. Don't get attached to that. You know, and how you look at it, look at all the greatest leaders. Look at the greatest leader of all, our Lord Jesus. He got crucified. What wrong did he do but love us all? And they crucified him. So why worry? So, yes, it's a responsibility, but it's a great one. Better than doing nothing. Better than being selfish. Better than, you know, spending all the time you can for yourself and da-da-da-da-da-da, and at the end of the day you die. What do you leave behind? What do you leave behind? At least you can leave behind, I did something for my fellow men and women. You know, I uplifted them. I made my mother laugh today. I made my daughter laugh today. I made my sister laugh today. I made my best friend. She was sad and I took an hour from my time and I made her uplifted. What a nice thing to do. The children's class, they come in and they leave joyous and at peace. What a nice thing to do. At least you did that in your day. Isn't it better than complaining?
Yeah.
And that's how I see things, you know. But being a leader, don't worry too much about a leader. Just never think you're a leader. Think you're always a student. I think that's a very safe place to be. Because when you think you are a leader, the ego kicks in. I am the leader. You should listen to me. Why don't you do this way? And then it's like sergeant. Again, we go back into ownership. I own you. No. Think of yourself, if you're a leader, that you're a student that's constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly getting better every day. And you know, what made me realize that I'm always a student is when my master once said, you know, all these yoga teachers, all these, they get so big-headed, they think they have a little knowledge and they think they know it all. He was telling me one day. I thought, dear God, don't make me like that. I think they know. And then he said, you know, Nalanie, we have a goddess in the Hindu tradition called Goddess Saraswati. She's the goddess of art and knowledge. He said, you know, a goddess is even holding a book in her hand and mala beads, you know, rosary beads, doing mantras all day. And if a goddess is still learning, who are these earthlings thinking they know it? All these yoga students, so clever. And I said, you know, Gurudev, you're absolutely right. You know, what makes us so clever? What makes us so special? What makes us a leader? You know, do you think you automatically came to be a leader? I think there is a divine plan there. We're all leaders in our own way when we live a peaceful, easeful, and useful life. I think everybody bears a responsibility. I don't think it's only a leader. I think as human beings, the problem with us is we've forgotten to take the responsibility. That's why all the families are breaking apart, and all the people are breaking apart, and all the world is breaking apart. We don't take responsibility. We need to. It's like you said, should I be responsible for that? Yes. You might get screamed at, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody shouts at you or not. What's important is the child's life. Always first. Some response. I remember once I went to a... Your phone doesn't stop, does it? It doesn't matter. Take it out and turn it up. It's you trying to turn it off.
I tried.
Don't worry these days. Do you have any questions? Is there anything else you'd like to ask or anything you'd like to say? Please feel free to.
I think there was one question that I emailed you about.
Oh, yes.
When you have people that come to you, they just want to, if they have a problem, and they come and talk to you about it. Again, in some ways they are being the victim. It seems quite cold to see it as, you know, I think it's nice to show compassion as well, to recognise the fact that they are being a victim. And I'm just thinking, how do you kind of deal with that when you know that?
Okay, I have this all the time, so I can really answer the question. Okay. Most people enter like that in my life. Before they start yoga, most people, they enter as victims. And from their point of view, remember I told you the glass? To that person, they're the victim. Just like if you ask anybody who's never talking about spirituality, is this glass full or empty? The first thing they will say is empty, right? You people are smart. You'll say, no, Nalanie, it's both. It's full and empty. So when a new person walks in to you for consultation, or because she does a lot of consultations as well, she'll be giving a talk in a few weeks with you, the pranayama talk. After the pranayama talk, she'll be 45 minutes with you in 2 weeks. So you say the glass is empty. So when that person walks in, as an observer, you have to be very, very neutral. And you see it as it is. That person is really, really, really suffering. But you know that person is really suffering because they just lack the knowledge. So you don't tell them snap out of it. They're not able to do it. So you take them as if you take a child and you listen to them and you hear their problem and you tell them, there's a way out. I can help you. I can give you the tools to help yourself. There's a way out. But if I give you the way out, and that's what I tell them, you better use the methods. I don't give medicine. I give you like 10 things to do. Positive affirmations to do at home. Go to a hatha class. Do this, do this, do this. You take your medicine and you will get well. You don't take your medicine, you will continue. And I tell them, I show them through explanation, through diagrams, and I think you must see in my office always thoughts and faces, I always write them in pads. I show them. I said, look, this is what's happening to you. And I draw them a face, and I said, it was really sad, and I cover the head, brains with lots and lots of lines. I said, that's you now. But that's because your mind is so dark that you can't see the light. in yoga there's a method. Aren't you telling me, this is what I tell them, that you are miserable? They go, yes. So who is the you that's watching yourself being miserable? Never heard that line before, many of them.
Yeah.
Never heard that line before. Yeah. If the person can watch yourself being miserable, that means it can change it. Yeah. Then they change. Already there's I never heard this, right? So then I showed them another picture. And I said, but it's not easy because for so long you've been so dark and so messed up. So you have to do certain techniques to help yourself. So I said, but there's an easy way. What you do is you don't focus on your miserable thoughts, you inject good thoughts. Oh, how do I do that? First thing I start to tell them, say, I love myself. Oh, I can't say it because I don't feel it. Oh, I don't know how many times I've heard that. Okay, you don't feel it?
Sure.
I tell you, from my heart, I love you as a human being. I tell them, forget about me. Do you believe in a divine energy? Most people do that walk into my office. They wouldn't unless they do believe in something divine or some energy. And they go, yes, wow, that energy created you. Must love you. You created your child, didn't you? Or you created this project, didn't you? And then they can understand. So I said, then this way, nowadays it's really easy to explain to them also because I say it's like a computer. Your brain is a computer and your higher self can control that computer. So I said, what we do is we start putting in new programs, right? You inject the new programs until there's no more space for the viruses. So I showed them a drawing. You inject for a long time without a break. And all your heart, you inject these new thoughts coming in. There's certain practices, and then over time, the bad thoughts, no more space. Only nice thoughts. And they get excited, and they want to get rid of it, and they want to. And you have to tell them it's going to take time. And you have to tell them it's going to take time, but it's the best work you can do. And I find that most people want to do it. And the people who don't will go away for 2 or 3 years and then they'll come back because they think there's another solution. Everybody wants an easy way. They want a magic wand. They think, touch me and I'll be well. But it doesn't work like that. I wish it could, but it doesn't. Because the divine wants everybody to see the divine in themselves. So you start with compassion. But if they come to you 2 or 3 times after that, I always tell people, I don't want you to come often. You need to do it for yourself. Learn to do it yourself. You get the tools from the talks, learn to do it yourself. Not because I don't want to, I'd love to see them. But if I create a dependency on me, they will never grow. When you give people the tools and you give them independence, it's like children, go there, learn, make your mistakes. Then they grow. Yes, I'm here if you need me, but grow. And then they have to do it. I said, when they come after 2 times and they don't do the work, they don't bother to see me again. Then I put on my teacher hat. Wasting my time? Wasting your time. See a psychologist, go see a counselor, many around. Don't waste my time. I'm giving you tools. You know they will work. You're too lazy to work them? Don't expect. Come here 1 week, you feel good for 4 days after seeing me. You're taking my energy. You're not using your own. Start to learn to use your own. The energy I have in me, you have in you. Wake up to it. Know that you have it. And when they do, and then they come back and see me, it's really quite nice, They come, we chat in the office. It's not work, it's fun. Because they tell you all the wonderful things they do in their life without the fear, without feeling a victim, without the joy with the joy they conduct their lives. It's wonderful, it's a great gift, it's a great feeling. That's how you do it. And you encourage them always to find the light within, always. And they'll cling. And you have to be a little detached because it's very tempting. It's very tempting when somebody wants to love you so much and say, yeah, I'm so good, I can heal you. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We were taught boundaries.
Yes, good. But the new psychology is too many boundaries. People need love. You know, too many. I have people who see counselors for years, and they're so upset. There's no love. See, the secret healing ingredient, like I talked about my special needs grandchild, is love. So love is beyond. You give more than is expected from you. And yes, you could get in trouble, but then what better? Who cares? You're gonna get in trouble in life anyway. Might as well do it for something worthwhile. That's my, you know. Might as well do it for something worthwhile, rather than somebody gossiping about you. At least this is worthwhile. Mm? And they may turn on you too. It's happened to me a few times. You don't get attached to that as well. Mm?